At the Chinese New Year, people express all the emotions they experienced during the previous year. A mother prepares food over a low fire, while the father waits alone at the port for his son to arrive. All the details of life, from the fragrance coming from the kitchen to the humming of an elderly man, are a reflection of their love and emotions. Their nostalgia, love and homesickness all come out during the holiday.
段木啊，段木就是这段木最好的哈。哎，好技能这有地洞啊，这个啊，哎呀，啊，挺好，这是空的，哎，还挺香啊，就是选择它吧。
Zhou Jiyou gets up early. He's found a hollow tree not far from his house. He wants to fix up his old cabin house for the Chinese New Year, and this hollow tree would work for a new chimney. Zhou Jiyou lives in Jinjiang Village, an ancient, unincorporated village at the foot of the Changbai Mountains. Every home here has a wooden chimney and is almost entirely made of wood. This type of house was once common in the Changbai Mountains. The walls and roofs are made of wood, with old hollow trees as chimneys. Fences, doghouses, and even flower pots are made of wood. The 50 or so houses in the village are all made of wood. It only takes a matter of minutes to walk around the entire village. Very few young people live in the village, but all the middle-aged men who live here know how to build a wooden house. Mr. Zoll has had a keen interest in the wooden houses in his village since he was a child. His father and grandfather moved to this village of less than 100 people from Shandong province. The villagers can no longer survive from what they harvest from the mountains alone. Most young people have left the village with its poor transportation facilities to work in the city. Today, the village has only about 20 households.
多钱咱也不能卖，你卖了你干啥呀？咱这一家人干挺好。你这是刚开始干头一年，以后一年比一年强。咱现在面积也小，政府现在还给修房。
Zhou Jiyou has never considered leaving the village. No matter how much the village shrinks, he will always call it home.
必须得整室内洗手间，卫生环境得放第一。
While his rural homestay hotel is being repaired during the Chinese New Year holiday, Mr. Zoll plans to give his whole family a vacation. Since it opened, the hotel has been busy all year round, but it's especially busy during the holiday. His family hasn't had a holiday like this for a long time. Now that she has the time, Mr. Zoll's daughter-in-law, Liu Nan, helps her two children make window decorations. Liu Nan is usually responsible for the cooking, but she's also good at cutting out decorations with scissors. Zhou Dekai, a father of two, is going to fish in the frozen river in the village to add to his family's holiday dinner. His father used to take him to fish in the river in winter. When they cut a hole in the thick ice, they could see many fish in the water.
那天抓鱼都放弃了，怎么出来个6根子呢？一割了，咕咚家伙就上来好几条，啊有货呀！哐哐这顿割了，一顿搅出10来斤，不来劲啊！本来就寻放弃回家了，咔咔一割了出来了，这
我也会挑，挑干净，然后洗几遍，上锅里糊。
The mother of the family is responsible for staying home to make traditional northeastern Chinese dishes. She works very hard to ensure they taste great. She's developed a number of favorite dishes during her long career as a housewife, and she's now preparing them for the holiday dinner. As more and more villagers move into the cities, traditional large kitchen stoves like these are becoming less and less common. The cold winds from the mountain forests have dispersed the fog, revealing the small village. As everyone in the family finishes their other duties, they begin preparing for the holiday dinner. They look forward to a leisurely holiday.
哎呀，你在里边吧，你在这吧，你就坐我腿上吧。
我的奶呢？
你奶一会儿就来了。爸爸小时候可没有你这么淘啊，对不对？
也差不多。
爸爸小时候可没你这么淘。
奶奶给你当个饺子，吃个饺子长1岁。你听奶奶说，听话，大学生了，上学懂事了。今年过年，今天吃一个饺子长1岁，佳瑞长1岁，对吧？
咱这村里啊人也少了。前几天县里面还有些朋友要去俄罗斯了，去那边包地。
即使挣钱挣得多，咱也不能去呀。
咱走不了。
去年你不都说了吗？这就是咱们的根。我从小也在这里长大的。
我和你说哈，我这岁数大了，我都不想走，你更不能走。你走了这木屋村这些房子，自己家这些东西谁来管？是一个木头房子，这木屋老祖宗留下来的，就得靠啥？靠自己。你去呵护它，哪个地方看哪个地方需要修理了，这样爱护它才能保留下来。钱挣的再多也不能走啊！来，
好，来，
过年了，喝一口来。
来，鱼好不好吃啊？
好不好吃？
好不好吃鱼？好吃，你没给爷爷拜年就先吃东西了。来，给爷爷拜年，你说爷爷过年好。
哎，好。
佳莹也说爷爷过年好。
爷爷过年好。
哎，来，干杯！过年喽！来喽，长1岁啦。
The village where Mr. Zoll's family has lived for generations is blanketed with snow. Their lives may be simple, but they truly love life in their village. They believe nothing is better than celebrating the Chinese New Year in the village of their ancestors. Jiang Changli began his fishing career at 16. He's fully accustomed to the activity at the port and the ceaseless ocean waves. Most fishermen here have serious health problems from their many years working at sea, so they generally have to retire around 50 years of age. Jiang Changli is now 60, and he's decided to turn over his fishing boat to his son. Winter is the off-season for fishing, so Jiang Changli's son Jiang Bin is coming home in a few days to celebrate the holiday with his family. Jiang Bin has been fishing with his father since he was a teenager, but he rarely gets the chance to steer the boat. Last summer, Jiang Bin was preparing to go out to sea for 6 months, so Jiang Changli joined his son to make sure the ship was in tip-top shape. They're taking their ship to Liaodong Bay, a great fishing area. For thousands of years, the fishermen of Gaizhou have grown rice on shore and fished from the sea. They consider the ocean to be the source of their happiness. But the sea near their village is becoming increasingly depleted of fish, and the fishing villages are shrinking as fewer and fewer young people like Jiang Bin are willing to engage in fishing.
海里货不准呐，不知道什么天儿的什么季节，季节它这货是来的多少，这确不准。
这一年要账儿不就完了？
就靠点油补，你油补没有了，不就了了？
油没到手，货没打着。
那上山东一带看看。
不行，上那边去离家太远了，有点什么事儿太不方便了。
每天也得去，要不就得停，一天就是干活，干活完了就累的干嘛就睡觉，睡觉醒了还是干活，吃住都在船上吃住，船上都是家。
Talking about turning something over is taboo on the boat, so even the basins and bowls are never overturned. The father doesn't cook at home, but he does the cooking on the boat. They're having potatoes and cabbage for lunch. The fishermen usually don't eat the expensive seafood that they catch. They sell the most valuable part of their catch and keep the smaller varieties of fish, shrimp and crabs to make sauce. The fishermen consider their ships their home. It's where they carry out almost all the normal household activities. Jiang Bin, the son of a fisherman, has been sleeping on board since he was a child, his dreams accompanied by the rhythm of the waves. After his father leaves the boat, Jiang Bin will go alone to the Shandong Peninsula or even farther east. Jiang Bin will have to face fatigue, danger and hard work in his search for fish over the next 6 months.
彤彤，来给爷扯着来，过来来，给爷拽着来，给爷拽网。
Jiang Changli has at last retired. Now he can help his wife produce fishing nets and look after his granddaughter, as well as dry fish in the autumn in accordance with local customs.
好孩子，来，给爷拿，哎，你太棒了。
She grew up by the sea, so she has no fear of the fish from the sea. Time flies. The fish are gradually drying, and the Chinese New Year will soon be here. The shore is wet from the recent and rare sleet. His son can't wait to go home, but the father insists on cleaning the boat first. Fishermen are especially attached to their boats because they're crucial for the support of the family.
好好系着，别开了，别船别跑了，不能收拾，咱就回家。
这扣应该能绑住。
这回家就过年，来年再干吧。今年就这地了。往那跳，哎呀，真棒！头头真棒，跳的真棒。
Unlike the father's worried mood, in the kitchen, the wife and mother are lovingly preparing a big holiday dinner for husband and son. Actually, the father feels the same way. The dinner silently pulled on the heartstrings of the son working so far from home. He believes that his situation makes it feel more like a Chinese New Year than ever before.
你尝尝这鱼干。
红豆晒的，忘没忘？
吃嘛。
没忘。
没忘吃饭尝尝，
奶奶
可好了。
尝尝，好不好吃？
香不香？
香不香？
将来这船呢，你们好好管理吧。你这什么事儿这在点心，这将来这都是恁自个儿挣多少都是恁自个儿的，惜点心。你要喝着了，喝醉了呗。干活的可注意。
按这么说，平平安安的，
有风天都暴雨大风咱就不干。
过年的平平安安的，
一家平平安安就行了，种多多花，种少少花。
In the evening, the father continues his serious talk with the son, while the mother serves freshly prepared mackerel dumplings. Her only wish is that his work goes well and that he comes back safe.
现在就搅还好，这鲅鱼这鱼馅儿，这鱼馅儿搅好。
During the holiday, the father takes his son to pray to the god of the sea and to make a wish that the son returns from his voyage safely in the coming year. People often make wishes for a better future during the Chinese New Year.
什么花儿开呀？二月里来呀，兰桃花儿开呀，兰桃的花开呀，花开响起那个歌呀，花开响起这妹子啊，郎啊，这一盘小棋子儿啊，我算赢了你呀，
After finishing all her housework and preparation for the Chinese New Year, 73-year-old Yin Yugui finally has some time to knit. Ever since she married her second husband, a man from Fumin village, over 10 years ago, Yin Yugui stays busy in the kitchen. She hums as she prepares food and waits for her husband to come home. She remembers the tunes from her years performing with her husband.
我的本名就叫尹玉慧，我的戏名叫尹小坤。唱的完戏前呢，提前就把这头发个就搞那个头卡什么的都给他卷上。这一个头卡给他别上，这面俩带卷再给他别上。哎呀，那阵红的就不用说了，大家伙的唱出气，不说是勾人，真勾人。有的是那小伙子扔的手绢啊，那时候就不用提了。今天就扒了9天半苞米给他们别人，大伙都来找我来扒。你说我都70多岁了，给我累的都累不行了都。哎呦我的妈！你那多少钱呢？一天呢？120啊？你，哎呀，他一天的就是晚上都挺好。
Su Lanting is 77 years old. During the holiday, he likes to get together to play cards with his neighbours at the shop at the entrance to the village. After a few hands, win or lose, he goes home for dinner as agreed with his wife Yin Yugui. Occasionally, they recall their past performances as a duo. Both Su Lanting and Yin Yugui performed in local operas for years, and they still remember that time. Several decades ago, they were the most popular actor and actress in the area.
我呀，相片叫人要起老鼻子了，当小丫鬟在台顶唱一唱，看得好了，还叫我做那个动作，照完了他们拿当画片了。这多少年都扔了，不知道整哪去了。
Yin Yugui and Su Lanting first met when they were both performing on the road, but they didn't really get to know each other until nearly 40 years later. This is the 16th Chinese New Year since they got married.
那时候其实呢，应该俺俩结合到一起，
就订婚也就愿意了，完了就等叫我托媒。 赶有个拉弦的呢，跟我俩挺好。他呢保媒没通过我，就给我保先头那死那个大娘。一气之下，他找别人，我就走了。我死那老伴儿。
他有孩子以后呢，他还上俺那去唱过。他老伴儿死20来天，我才在他后院唱戏，回家4天去找我的。他说他老伴儿死，我还有点不相信。
他那个老伴儿也死了，
正好2000年，2000年。 到一起，你说这玩意儿也怪呀，就结合一起了，就像一场梦似的。
你现在在哪呢？
Su Guifan, Su Lanting's eldest daughter, gives performances around the local area during the holiday. She knows both old and new songs, and she performs at both weddings and funerals. She's long been a well-known actress. Su Lanting has 3 sons and 2 daughters, but only Su Guifan has followed in her father's footsteps. She still does her best to find time to spend at home with her parents.
好久都没回来，
那为啥？
其实我想回来，没有时间。
那是不是假的？几个人都当你呢？
明个又上哪去了？
明天就上俺家那边去了。 帮过杂人那里头那个老太太唱那个段是不是柳的？
那是什么玩意儿？
自从你炸了籽儿小苞米的
啊！
自从你炸了籽儿小苞米呐，你带嫂嫂我胜过娘亲。
红木柳子，
这就柳子呗。
这就是柳子，你跟你头前杜四娘是一样的。
你看我唱段行了听。
那你看这是有味儿，是
也不容易，这外边。
那个容易吗？
这行人不好处。
不是啊，咱爹跟你说，你是干这玩意儿干一辈子。演员超过50以后，啊，像你吧这样能降到55，能往上往下就不行了。所以说小点正戏，不用那个说口说浪的，就你这唱功，我唱赢你，就你唱这个味儿，像那个什么杜十娘，我小几个段子一唱不赢他。
我吧不老经常回来，也就是能到这边演出时完了，有时候回来看看你俩。就是姑娘也是有老多地方也做不到，所以说有时候我就寻思，我内心里寻思，也是希望你俩身体健康，就是你俩老的时候晚年幸福点，愿意吃啥就买点啥。你俩现在多幸福多好啊，感情也挺好的。
那年出演呢。 在外边过年呢，也是我和面呢。他们这帮小死孩不会和，你说呀，和的呀，和完事儿了，你说我还得赶季子，也像你似的不会赶季子。俺们大伙包，包完了开始呢，他们这老百姓就找俺们了。
搁剧场过年，那是也没搁堆过，就是一家一个伙食，山下边贴个财神马子，也放的鞭炮。 完那老板呢？那时候把那大彩电给搬到那屋去，给拿的茶，人家老板娘给买一袋面粉，哎，来过那回年。正月初2就到苏联屯铁路俱乐部。
我在外边过了30个呀。好了，我这面糊好了。你又来，
儿不要你慌啊，
山不让你。带错了，
小妹妹的花兜兜啊，
小妹妹送啊我的郎啊空卡，
送到大门东啊，
偏赶上这个老天爷
哎，下雨又刮风啊，
刮风啊倒不如
哎，下点
正月那时
我要去逛逛啊，扫白呀，放放灯啊，对对，哪里有哎呀，扫白呀，放放灯啊，
大要节呀电脑在呀，
哎，头我前呀走啊，
小妹妹就在呀
哎，后边行啊，
行走来在。
这个播通知啊，
各位演员和演员请注意啊！今天上午在新城部排练二段，这个希望马上到场啊。
The Chinese New Year celebration is very simple, but the third day of the New Year is always an important day for Su Lanting and Yin Yu Gui. Su Lanting invites all the villagers to the couple's rehearsals. These rehearsals are actually an opportunity for people to get together and enjoy themselves. This has been an essential part of the holiday celebration for a number of years now. After the harvest celebrations and family reunions, this is probably the most joyous occasion of the year. Su Lanting and Yin Yu Gui will never forget their song and dance routine. They still love the folk songs they learned long ago and recall performing them for decades. During these New Year celebrations, they leave memories of sorrow, anger, and bad times behind. They stick to the simple things in life in return for peace and stability. As the end of the lunar year draws near, people from Mai village ride motor trikes to town to shop. As Yang Junting follows her grandpa, she's looking for something for the Chinese New Year. She wants to buy a pair of lanterns and decorative couplets for the front door. 62-year-old Yang Gui knows what his granddaughter is thinking. She wants to welcome her parents home for the Chinese New Year in traditional style. Yang Junting doesn't get to see her parents very often because they have to look after their restaurant and son in Shanxi province. When she was 6, her parents sent her to northeast China, where she's been with her grandparents ever since.
写对没？啊，会写，我孙子学习挺好的。
不会写了。
不会写了，哪个字不会写？父亲的父，底下搞个八字。
Autumn is a busy season for local farmers. The corn is ripe and it looks like the Young family will have a good harvest. Unfortunately, young Junting's grandmother was injured at work. Fortunately, it's a weekend and young Junting can help her grandfather with her farm work. She's only 9, but she's already an experienced farmhand. She doesn't have many friends, so she sings and sunbathes in the fields alone.
盼不盼过年呢？盼不盼过年？
可以刷新。
还可以得那个压岁钱是不是？这压岁钱重要是不是啊？
压岁钱能买那个好吃的。
平常反正他爸他妈就是过年都能回来一趟。
去年
咱们就是太远，你这好几千米路。
那面那个听不懂。
方言不行啊。说话听不懂。
别的我能听懂。那个就是说话那个听着可费劲了，我能听懂。我跟人两下。俩时候就能听懂。你去溜达，你看见那个外国人，那个有一种那个是黑色的，脸整亮的，还有一可白了。
哎，也是不容易事儿，撇家置业，弄个孩子，也的确是不容易。你出去挣点钱，也是没办法。
This time, young Jongyu is taking the train alone because his wife must stay behind to take care of their business and son. On his way home to visit his parents and his daughter, young Junting, young Jongyu has to transfer trains 4 times. The green train is bound for home. Like other fathers who leave their children behind, young Jongyu feels sorry for his daughter, but he can't do anything about it. During the holiday, he wants to share some precious time with his daughter.
回来想看看孩子，这走的时间太长了，也看不着，比也惦记，也想，能不惦记吗？惦记也没有办法，这为了为给他们创造好的条件嘛，就得这种情况。因为父母不在半拉，就得招聘别人小孩，就少些母爱父爱了呗。这搁外头走好几年了，这孩子扔家了。也不行，所以现在感觉有点太愧对他了。
爸爸生日亮不亮？
亮。
爸爸亲了。刚刚先看到爸爸。爸爸这回搁家陪你2天行不行？
行。
高兴不？
高兴。
At the Chinese New Year, family is especially important. Normally cold and quiet kitchens fill with the warm aromas of cooking food when members of the family come home for the holiday. The traditional ways of cooking are still observed. The old, familiar flavours embody the idea of reunion. This year, young Junting's grandmother didn't put coins in her dumplings because she believes that safety is more important than making a fortune. Young Junting follows her father around, helping him wherever she can. It's her way of showing affection for her father during their short time together.
鸡蛋呢？
你要鸡蛋干啥呀？
我要做菜。
The affection between father and daughter is expressed through the sharing of food, because food represents love and fond memories. By fixing scrambled eggs, his 9-year-old daughter is expressing love for her father. China now has about 61 million children left at home while their parents work in a different locale. The holiday provides an opportunity for them to spend some valuable time with their parents.
家家团圆会儿啊，少的给老的拜年呐，也不论那个男和女呀，哎呦呦，哎呦呦呀，都把那新衣服穿呐，哎呦呦呦呦，都把那新衣服穿呐，哎呦。
Shortly before winter arrives, Han Dongji, an ethnic Korean woman, begins preparing kimchi. It's her busiest time of the year. The population of Naito Shan village is very small, and all the residents are elderly. Even if they have spicy cabbage at every meal, their supply would last the whole year. Residents keep their store of cabbage in root cellars where the cabbage ferments. The cabbage will be ready to serve when their children come back for the Chinese New Year. Lee Hoo-chun only asks his wife to help him find his traditional Korean costume for the most important occasions. This Chinese New Year falls on his 60th birthday. Korean customs calls for his son Lee Fengjie to prepare a dinner for the occasion, an important event that adds to the significance of the holiday. Early in the morning, Lee Fengjie, his wife and his mother buy ingredients for the birthday dinner. Since number one son Li Fengjie returned to Wenchun from his studies in Japan, he's been assisting his parents on their apple orchard. His mother has prepared a list of things to buy. Since he's lived away from his home since childhood, Li Fengjie doesn't know much about this Korean tradition. Many ingredients are needed for the dinner, so the women in the family usually begin preparations 2 days in advance. Just before the holiday, there's a heavy snowfall and Han Dongji has work to do. She brought home some pork from the village centre, and now she has to remove the snow in front of her house. Han Dongji is 65 years old and she has difficulty getting around, so she's often seen sitting in the snow to have a rest. The average age of people in Nai Toshan village is over 60, and all their children are working and living away from home and seldom come back for visits.
我儿子出国了，过年是有的时候是2年1次、3年1次，就那样。想着每天打个电话完了以后，打个电话就行了，听就行了。想着有的时候是我去不了。 我女儿的钱，女儿的儿子钱1分钱不要，你们也是不要我的钱，就我自个儿活就行。你们愿意回来就回来，不愿意回来我拉倒。现在的年轻人吧，就是那样，你别怪他们，他们也是活得不容易，只是就心里也是不好受，也是不行，没办法呀，这个年头没办法呀。
过年那天吧，也来回闯，到这家喝点酒，到那家喝点酒，也是把门一关就自己过年。 我们现在也是爱着包饺子吃了。我们这么大岁，我们爱喝酒啊，喝点酒，到这疯疯的唱个歌跳舞。以前我也爱玩爱跳。
Some 10 years ago, Han Dongji was a village official who liked to help elderly villagers celebrate the Chinese New Year. To help her with her loneliness, she decides to organize the elderly people in the village to celebrate the occasion together.
俺们家也是东西还差不多，就是你们家没缺的时候，俺们家有；俺们家缺的是你们家，我们一起过就行了。说什么呢？你是干？俺们这好几个家一起过年，谢谢谢谢，哎，就我一起进来吧，进来就上那个朴金顺家去讨论讨论。
米肠那个咸菜必须得上，
还有蕨菜，
蕨菜必须得上，明太。
哎，挺好嘛，那。 他们老太一孤单的老太太们挺哎呀热闹的，他们也高兴了。
Li Fengjie's efforts pay off when he finally obtains the New Year painting 10 Signs of Longevity. The screen features 10 images representing longevity. People are depicted offering cake, candy, fish and meat to the person having a birthday. Prominent in the centre is the image of a rooster.
这是奶豆山的，这是特产土豆。
At noon, the elderly people of the village begin to prepare the holiday dinner. Most ethnic Korean families have glutinous rice cakes at Chinese New Year, but the elderly here make potato cakes, according to a recipe that only they know. They bring their homemade dishes to share in a community potluck dinner. Chuan's birthday party begins at noon. A major aspect of the celebration is the kowtowing and offering of a cup of liquor by his guests. First, his married sons come in order by age, followed by the married daughters. Then the other relatives and well-wishers do the same. They all wish him good health and long life, after which everyone goes to the table to enjoy the food Li Huchun has prepared. Meanwhile, Han Dongji and her friends are having a drink together. Since most young people have left the village, there are few festive occasions like this. The children will probably come back home to visit them in a few months. The elderly may have a few more drinks than usual in anticipation of the occasion. The luxurious banquet didn't actually cost a lot, but it did take a lot of patience. The food expresses people's wishes for a brighter future. The holiday dinner embodies the wishes of the older people that their children come home often and reflects the filial piety of the youth. Looking forward to their children's visit makes them happy. Ordinary families look forward to the Chinese New Year as the start of a safe and peaceful year. Waiting and preparing for the holiday makes them feel safe and secure.